Ladies and gentlemen, my name is TotalBiscuit, live here from PAX 2013. I'm checking out Dungeon Defenders 2. You remember that video, don't you? Yeah, that was a pretty fantastic two-parter. We went for ages on that one. You guys just wouldn't shut up. We've got Scott Chan here. He is one of the designers here at Trendy for Dungeon Defenders 2. Welcome to the show.
Hi, it's good to be here.
Excellent. You have changed things around a lot for this one. This is an entirely different beast this time around. Why don't you tell us why?
Well, what we're going to be playing today is something a bit different. We're actually playing the PvP mode for our full game that we'll be that we're creating right now.
Sure.
This is the beta for our PvP game, and we're expecting to start doing a lot more spinning up of co-op fairly soon.
All right. So I've heard words bandied around, words like MOBA, words like Dota clone. So how similar exactly is this to the Dota style of gameplay?
Well, the thing about MOBAs is they are a known quantity. I mean, they're a top-down, super competitive game. We're trying to dial it back a little bit. We have kind of a third-person view to our game as opposed to a top-down isometric view.
Sure.
And it's trying really. We're trying really hard to bring as much Dungeon Defenders into a decent PvP environment as we can.
Okay.
It's not going to feel the same way that Dota or League or Smite or Han will, because we have a completely different system for itemizations that are more geared toward bursts within lives as opposed to a sustaining snowballing effect over the course of the game.
Okay. So I'm looking at it. You've got quite a few characters ready.
We got
by the looks
22 right now, yeah.
Nice, and there's a lot more to be unlocked by the looks of it. Do you have a particular recommendation for someone that really likes to shoot people?
Really likes to shoot people. I would go with either the Huntress or perhaps the Gun Witch. That would be this one here.
The Gun Witch. Sounds like a sandwich, just a little bit more violent. Trick Shot. Shoots a bullet that bounces between multiple targets, dealing damage to each. Soaring Strike takes to the skies, comes crashing down on enemies, dealing damage in area. And Magic Bullet, imbuing iron with magic. The Gun Witch shoots a magic bullet that deals damage to the first target it hits. Target is silenced for a brief time. And one assumes this is an ultimate ability?
Yes.
All right. Wild Magic. Tames a bit of the wild magic around her, focuses it into a gun after a short delay. Wild Magic's too much to maintain. As he was talking about that burst, actually, yeah. Massive beam of damage. So you charge it up and then you smack somebody with it.
Yes. It
Sounds
actually deals
like
a
fun
lot
to
of
me.
damage to over a large distance in a line.
Nice. All right, we're locking it in then. So
All right.
we've got other people here. This is not a bot game by any stretch of the imagination. We've got a bunch of convention goers here that are going to be checking out here at the booth. So we'll see whether or not they suck at video games. We'll find out.
So one thing you can do while we're waiting to queue up is you can actually click there and pick from one of the starter summoner spells that we've got.
Heal.
You'll be able to start with any of the 6 here.
Yeah. Haste is always good, in my opinion. Wow. Interesting. That very much sounds like a let's go into the jungle ability.
Well, you always need one.
Indeed. I tend to agree. I'm going to stick with haste. Getting away from people is always useful.
Moving faster is always fun.
Yeah, I tend to think so.
So the 6 that you saw there are going to be ones that are going to be available for anybody that plays the game right off the bat.
Sure.
One of the unique things gameplay-wise that we're trying to encourage is for people to diversify the types of characters that they play.
Yep.
And so every single character in our game is going to have a unique hero spell that they can unlock that'll be part of that shared pool over everybody, which was all the grade ones that you saw.
All right, we're into the game, and I am immediately finding this familiar. So let's see what we've got. Trick Shot is probably a good opener, I would say. Trick Shot or damage? Hard to say.
So if you want to buy starting items, there's a button in the bottom right corner that looks like a treasure chest. That'll take you to our shop.
All right, sweet. So there's the shop. Okay. How much cash have I got to begin with? 550. Right. So I'm noticing tomes. Are these sort of a consumable of some sort?
Actually, everything in the shop is a consumable.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's part of what I was talking about with the...
you don't want that snowballing effect.
Exactly.
Nice. All right.
And one of the interesting things is the oils and elixirs that you see there, which provide pretty big late-game bonuses, allow you to change your character's actual role archetype.
Oh, right.
Midway through the game.
Holy hell. Actually, yeah, I'm seeing that. You got oils as well for your weapons, so that's a bunch of orb effects.
Oils are all on-hit effects, and then elixirs are all persistent stat boosts, both of which will last until the next time that you die.
Duo mid, standard build for conventions, as I've been told. All right, let's rock and roll very, very slowly in this direction. Duo mid, what the... Has anyone here actually played Dota or League? Who knows?
Well, we do a lot to break the meta.
Nice.
You're going to see that our jungles are laid out very differently as well. It's all very intentional to try and, oh man, I'm 1v2ing on top. I'm sorry, getting a bit distracted here.
Wow, I'm being knocked around. What the heck? I'm being knocked around all over the place here. Let's get out of the range. All right, there we go, there we go. All right, let's see what we can do here. Nice.
We're doing a lot to break the meta. You'll notice there's a really super saturated jungle on both the bottom and the top of the map, where we're splitting 5v2 instead of a traditional 3v4 from
Interesting.
League.
Okay.
It frees up your top lane. It lets them get a little bit more active in mid, or it lets mid cycle up to top without too much of an issue. And gives people more of an opportunity to provide ganks and coverage. We found that it's a pretty good combination. Oh man, I'm getting wrecked here.
Fair enough. Interesting design choice here in that when I click somebody, it's actually moving me directly in that direction.
Well, if you think about it, that's pretty much what you're doing in an isometric view MOBA in the first place. And so we're trying to keep it, we're trying to keep a lower barrier of entry. People that are familiar with MOBAs, oh man, I just got crushed. They have the ability to not have to worry about guessing where their shot ranges are or anything like that. They'll move right to them. I was trying to keep it a little less FPS-y in that I didn't want you just shooting off into the darkness with whatever you had, hoping to hit a target. So this kind of adds a little bit more precision required to...
Fair enough, yeah. You can't just click on stuff randomly. It's actually an extremely dangerous thing to do by the looks of it. If you do, you end up just wandering into the middle of the fight and then people start to murder you.
That's correct.
Well, I mean, in that case, it's kind of like any other Dota style game in that you've just got to kind of pay attention and you've got to make sure that you don't do anything stupid. Nice pick up there. I don't know who that is that's playing with me, but you're awesome. There we go. I think we just took down both in the duo lane there.
Oh, nice.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, what's my HP at? Not high enough. Let's fix that. So I just popped a potion there as well. So how often do you envisage people having to go back to base in this mode?
Well, since it is more of a consumable system, if you're playing really well, you should really only have to go back maybe once or twice over the course of the game. But if you're, if you're an average player, like you're probably going to find yourself every time that you die going back, just like you would in a normal like a normal session of League or Han, refilling when you get a chance to get when you die basically.
All right. Okay, let's grab a rank in that. This is the first time when anyone could actually go on my channel and not say, you're not playing the optimal build. It's like, you have no idea what you're talking about. You've never played this game. We'll get it anyway. It's going to happen. Also notice you have a very, very large health and mana pool at the start.
Yeah, that's really more of a guilty pleasure. I have a thing for really big numbers, and I think a lot of MMO players, anybody that's played a mage or a warlock in WoW is going to feel the same way. So, I mean, why skimp out,
Totally. Absolutely.
I want to do 1,000 damage. I don't want to do 100 damage.
Now, if I actually move backwards, if I just strafe backwards, am I going to move slightly slower there?
No.
Good to know.
And the reason why is because of that same issue that I talked to you about just a minute ago with the ability to move and shoot. You can't move and shoot in our game. When you actually shoot, you stop and play a full animation.
Sure.
And so the main advantage you'd have in like a game like Smite is where if you are backpedaling and shooting on a ranged character, it just lets you dominate over pretty much any melee character. Since you actually have to have a momentary pause between what you're doing, you run the risk of basically exposing yourself to a melee character who might be able to trash you while you're trying to hit them as they run.
There we go. Things are going fairly well in the bottom lane. How's top going?
Top's a little bit rough right now for me. I'm dealing with one of the best sustained characters in our game. The Dryad is like a super support. So I think we're going to lose top here in a second if we're not lucky. Yeah, they're really pushing hard.
We're handling this fairly admirably down bottom. Things are going pretty well. They have two melee characters, and, well, we don't. So things are a bit ugly for them right now, I feel. Fine by me. I don't really want to leap into that. How powerful are the towers in this game? Should I be diving?
It depends on your level. You're level 6 right now.
Yeah, I am.
You should probably wait just a little while longer to dive. The towers are fairly beefy in our game.
Fair enough. Now, last hitting, how important in this game?
Less than it is in a Dota or a League-style game.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because, like I said, it's a consumable-based system. So, I mean, you're going to be getting potions and things like that, but you're not, I guess I should say that you're not really bound to your item build as much as you are normally. We're giving you persistent stats as you gain levels, so really it's more important that your buy lane creeps as they die than it is that you're getting every single, you know, possible bit of farm as you go.
Fair enough. V appears to be a taunt. Oh, there we go. There's the Nexus. Okay. I'm going to go back now, I think, because I need to go and get some stuff. I'm a little bit low on HP.
You've got a fair amount of money, too.
Yeah, I'm sitting on cash right here.
I would go with a leeching oil, honestly.
Leeching oil?
Yeah, that's going to give you a health restore per hit.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
and
yeah.
You've got a pretty fast
good
attack speed, so
okay.
you'll be in good shape. And then if you want to get to lane really quickly, go on ahead and grab a teleport tome.
Okay.
When you activate it inside the Nexus, press space and you'll go to an isometric view where you can pick a tower and warp to it.
Sounds pretty reasonable to me. Do I want to be credit to team? I would like to be credit to team. I'm going to buy a ward. There we go. All right, sweet. Let's try and not screw this up.
So go ahead and activate the tome.
Yep.
And then press spacebar.
All right.
Spacebar.
Spacebar.
And now you can unlock your camera and
all right,
click on a
that
tower.
makes it. Oh, it's gonna. That's cool. I mean, you basically got an isometric camera view as well.
Yeah.
Can you play it from that perspective, or is it just for looking?
Right now, it's just for looking around. Oh, we just lost top tower. It would be very difficult to balance which view would be better, and ultimately someone would go, well, this is the better view to play at. And we really like the kind of immersive chase camera that we've got here because it really feels more like Dungeon Defenders.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's not unprecedented in this particular genre either, because Smite has done very well on that basis too. So it's a good time to get something going in that genre. So I'm going to ask you, considering that your first game was a first-person cooperative tower defense game, third person in fact, don't get me wrong there, why suddenly move to this kind of genre?
It's actually, we're not going too far off of the reservation. This is going to be part of a larger game. This is the PvP mode of our sequel game. So we're going to have the co-op mode still, which is exactly what you'd think of when you think of Dungeon Defenders. Yep. It's just going to be releasing a little bit later than the PvP mode. Thing about PvP modes is that if you play, MMOs, or if you play, any kind of large, online game that has a campaign, even RTSs like, RTSs like StarCraft, you're looking at, a campaign that you really want to play, and then a PvP mode that you wait and play in between DLC that comes out.
Okay. Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
That's pretty much what we're hoping this will do for us, is give our player base an option after they've completed our campaigns.
Fair enough. So I have to ask every time I see a game like this, do you envision a competitive scene? And if you do, how do you intend to support it? Well,
it's really going to be more of a... I look at it as more of kind of a mid-core game. It's not... It's not really sitting itself to be the next big esport or anything like that. But obviously, if people really like it and are enjoying it, we're going to give it as much support as we can. We're kind of an indie company. We're a little bit smaller, so where we put our resources is going to really depend on how well the individual title does.
Certainly. So I'm obviously going to talk about microtransactions and the idea of business model. Now, Dungeon Defenders was released at a very low price point, but you did offer a lot of optional DLC later down the line, including character classes as well as level packs and things like that.
Right.
So what are your plans in terms of Dungeon Defenders 2 in that regard?
I think that's a little bit more of a question for the marketing department than me, but we are going to be going free to play, and there are going to be a lot of options of things that you're going to be able to purchase from us. But again, I don't have all of the fleshed out details as being the guy that really handles more of the gameplay and the game experience, as opposed
all
to
the interesting stuff, in other words.
Other stuff, yeah.
There we go.
I will tell you that I'll do everything I can to make sure that it's as fun a game as possible.
It's always good when a designer says, well, I'm going to try my best to make it not suck. That's a good plan.
Right.
Certainly a good amount of fun so far. It's got an interesting perspective to it. The funny thing about it is that it's probably the Dota game that I've played where you have the least kind of view in front of you. Like, people can come out of nowhere. Is that intended, or is the draw distance something that you're going to be changing later on?
We've been playing with the draw distance a little bit. It's still in beta. I'm trying to get as much feedback as I can to find where the optimal camera positioning will be.
I mean, I think the one argument could be made that it's actually pretty good, that you get some more surprises and things get a little bit more immediate.
Right.
But obviously, it depends on what people think, I suppose.
Right, and I want to make sure that the game mode stays as engaging as possible, and it definitely forces you to conform to a different play style than anything that you've been in before. So I'm not entirely confident that the positives of having a constantly ever-changing camera would outweigh the negatives that it would bring along with it too. This certainly is better from a rendering standpoint as well. We're going to be launching on a lot of platforms, so it's going to be really important to us to make sure we can maximize performance whenever possible.
I'm not sure if this is a wise thing to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. Sweet! Ah! All right, so I discovered how powerful the towers are. That was obviously for research purposes, as everyone is well aware. I didn't just go 6-1 instead of 6-0. It's important to know how powerful the towers are. It's useful information.
Yes,
and see, doing that distracted the towers long enough to enable us to knock that one down. So that was entirely intentional. Honest.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm also sitting on 4K gold, which it turns out is a pretty good amount of money.
Yes, it is.
We'll be respawning in about 10 seconds here. There we go.
And I'll tell you, if you're going to take a risk, the best time is when you've got a lot of money.
I tend to agree. I take it you don't lose money when you die in this game.
No, you don't.
Nope, didn't think so. All right, let's have another look at the shop. All right, so I can actually afford elixirs now.
So I would go with a Viciousness Elixir and a Leeching Oil at the same time, because that'll give you the maximum health regen. You'll be able to really
That's
tank
what I'm talking about.
Extremely well.
Yeah, let's grab a couple of mana potions in the process and rock and roll. Sweet. Okay, down the bottom lane. Here we go.
So go on ahead and use them off the bat, because you're going to want the
they stick around for the entire life, right?
Exactly right.
I got to say, like, from a Dota player's perspective, I kind of like the idea that everything's based on not dying, right? I can be a powerhouse until I get destroyed, and then suddenly that kind of resets me back to where I was in the previous.
Right, so it keeps you from running away with the game, which is the important part.
Keeps it a little bit competitive, especially kind of a lower level, more casual level. Now, I suppose the thing is, this is starting to get a really competitive genre now. Yeah? You don't mess around when it comes to Dota-style games. There's a lot of competition in this space. So if I were to say, oh, hey, I played Dota. I played Dota 2 a lot, which I do.
Sure.
Why would I play this game as opposed to, say, another game of this type? What has it got to offer?
Well, the thing about Dota and League is, although the game goal is the same, the feel of the game is very different. I'm sure you're experiencing that a little bit more now.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I'm getting the vibe that I get with pretty much every game like this, but not in the same way.
I really don't think that the best way to look at it is as though we're trying to encroach on Dota or League's market. We're not. We're trying to be our own place within the genre, and we're trying to find more variety within the genre. There's a lot that there's a lot that games like League that have had 5 years of full production time from a AAA studio. I mean, there's a lot you can learn from a game like that, and there's a lot that we want to learn from a game like that. Ouch.
Someone's been feeding the gun witch at the top. That's totally unacceptable, man.
Yeah, I apologize for that.
Yeah,
that
you're getting reported. It's
very
going to
much
happen.
me. I deserve it.
Well, that was a lot of money I just blew away there.
That's the disadvantage to risking your whole, putting all of your eggs in one basket.
And it completely changes the way that you play the game as
Indeed.
well. It really does. Like, suddenly I'm sitting on a huge amount of elixirs and buffs, and then I get into a fight that I can't win, and then I just kind of reset. And obviously the only bonus that I have at that point is what my level is in comparison to everyone else, which right now is fairly equal.
Yeah, you're level 11, so yeah, you're right on par with everybody else. We're pretty much even up. Everybody's about 10 or 11 right now.
You need to get a good team fight going, I think, by the looks of it.
Another big difference, actually, that I should mention is that level cap in our game is 15.
All right.
And you get your ults at 5 level intervals as opposed to 6, like League does. And one of the things I've really come to enjoy about the game that we've created is that you have a real decision at level 5. Do you want to get the 3rd rank of your first skill, or do you want to get your ult? And it really presents an interesting decision depending on how you want to play your character.
It's always good to know. All right, we're missing bottom. I think middle's about to get horribly destroyed.
Top's got a tower killer going after it right now. We got to get up there.
I'm pushing it. I think we're probably all moving mid, actually.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and defend top. If that prisoner comes through, we're done.
All right, so I noticed there's a nasty demon where Roshan should be.
Yes, our demon lord. Don't try and solo it.
All right.
I'll say that much.
Good to know. I'm not Ursa at level 7 with a Mask of Madness.
Exactly.
Right. Good. There we go. Looks like we're going to start to work our way through here. We will have to wrap this session up sooner rather than later, unfortunately, but I want to at least get that gun witch because, quite frankly, I'm offended by her. There we go. The turtle on tower. God damn them. There you go. Some of that. Trick shot. Whoa.
All right, I better get up to mid and get into that team fight before you guys have all the fun without me.
Dodge and weaving. Oh, Orc Chieftain out of nowhere. Orc Chieftain out of nowhere. Speed, 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 speed. There we go. Quick jump out of the way. Pop potion. Hit the apprentice. Nice. Who else can I get out of this? Not too many. Orc. I'm not happy with what this Orc Chieftain's doing to our team, man. This is messy.
I'm coming up right now.
All right, I think I just picked up another one.
I need them to take the tower. Yes.
Mana's good. Health is definitely not.
Boom.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
Let me get some wards up here. One of the big differences between our game is that towers don't have true sight, so
okay.
You can ward right underneath them to be able to zone out a tower. There we go.
No. Let's beat the crap out of that thing. There we go. Push, 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 push.
I'll take it.
It might be a little bit more casual, but you acted exactly the same way that you would in any other Dota game.
Yep.
Barracks going down. That's what we like to see. Let's trick shot for support. Jump in the middle. Finish them off. Yeah, come on. Nice, 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 nice. All right, so what kind of release date are you looking for Dungeon Defenders 2 at this point?
Well, right now we're thinking about widening our beta up sometime in early summer. So you should see a whole lot more access to it coming up this early summer. I don't know. We don't have an exact date yet. Well, when it's ready, it'll be ready.
Yeah, hopefully. Sounds like a pretty good idea. All right, are we... Okay, we're wrapping up for time now, unfortunately. As much as I'd like to finish off this match, I'm going to have to let someone step in for me. It's okay, I've got plenty of gold, and I'm not dreadful, but, well, close to being dreadful. But thank you very much for showing us Dungeon Defenders 2, folks. It is on its way. Yet another offering in the Dota genre for you to try out, as well as, of course, the traditional tower defense co-op mode, which is something you should never forget about. Not just the Dota game. This is just another way of playing Dungeon Defenders here, and this will apparently be free to play by the sounds of it. All right, well, thank you very much for showing us this today.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, everyone else, for feeding my character. You did a great job at that. And thanks to Top Lane for sucking hard, but there you go. It's making it interesting. All right, folks, my name's been TotalBiscuit. Thank you very much for watching Dungeon Defenders 2 right here from PAX, and we will see you next time.